Okay. Audio is fixed. Wow, that's super annoying. Yes. Cool. All right, so what are we doing here? Let me see what I've got. All right. We had some questions. Okay, it's clear. So anyone that's here now that didn't already ask the question in my Instagram story, if you have a question, go ahead and leave it in the comments of this video and I will get to it. Oh, you do it right before. Okay, Phil says he restarts his computer right before every stream because this problem always happens. Wow. So strange. I wonder what that is. Yeah, thanks, Phil. Thanks, dude. No, okay. Cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start with one of the questions that was asked in the Instagram stories. There's a few here, so don't mind me while I bring them up. I'm not one of those cool people yet that can put it up on the screen and show you the question, so I'm just going to read that off here. Okay, I'm seeing if people are actually able to join here. Okay, so first question from David here. How do you keep up with old repertoire? Well, you know what? Old repertoire, I don't keep up with, really. Now, what I'm assuming you mean by old repertoire, it's telling me I should change bitrate. All right, well, whatever, I'm just going with this. How do you keep up with old repertoire? What I think you mean by old repertoire are things that are, you know, early, like in my program of concert repertoire or competition repertoire that is older, not like the newest stuff, just things that I've played for a while. But I still consider that like new repertoire because it's things that I'm playing constantly. I consider old repertoire things that I haven't touched in a long time. But to answer your question, you know, when I'm preparing for a concert, I'll just play through the program that I'm planning on doing, and then after that, I'll make a list of what's the worst at the top. And a lot of times, you know, it's exactly your question there. Old repertoire is a lot of the times the things that you need to work on the most. It's either that or the newest piece that you're adding to the repertoire. So what I'll do is I'll make this list starting from the very worst piece, and I'll highlight like the section of the piece that is the worst. Like maybe it's the B section I'm unfamiliar with, or I'm having memory slips, or it's difficult. I'll write that down, and then it's basically a priority list. The lower and lower we go, the more familiar I am. And then the goal is to eventually just move the pieces that are at the top all the way at the bottom. Once you're like, yeah, this is feeling really great. Boom, it just goes straight to the bottom of the list. Or maybe it just gets moved one slower as you're like, I can't even play this piece. You know, a new one comes up to the top that maybe you don't even remember, you haven't played in a few months. That's a really great question though, because all of us are going through that right now as we kind of prepare our concert programs that are going to be, you know, hopefully in the early part of this upcoming year. Or later, who knows? In the States, it's still pretty crazy. Okay, let's grab one question from the YouTube stream here. Do you practice arpeggios, i.e. right hand? Yeah, the majority of my practice is right hand, is about right hand. I do a lot of arpeggios. I've been a big fan for a while of this book. Oh geez, I'm trying to remember what book number it is. I think it's book 3 by Evangelos Boudonis. He's got an entire right hand arpeggio book, and it just brings you through different patterns. I'll give you an example. Basically, it's just using the 4th through 1st strings, these, and an E major chord, and you shift up by thirds. And you have these right-hand patterns that start with the most simple, just P-I-M-A, P-I-M-A. And then it brings you through every possible pattern after that. So you'll have P-I-A-M, P-I-A-M. You'll have PMIA, PMIA, you'll have PMAI, PMAI. And my goal with these is just to get the more obscure ones feeling just as easy as the typical PIMA one. And then after it brings you through all the ones starting with P, you do the ones starting with I. So it's like IMA, PIMA, PIMA, and I'll make sure to accent that I so it feels like B1. Then you have IPAM, 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 IPAM. And that really grounds my right hand, makes it feel super comfortable once I start playing other repertoire. And then the other thing that I've done consistently for a long time, I haven't done them so consistently lately, but it's the Carlovaro Book 2 Arpeggios, these. I'm in D. And these, it's all combinations with the thumb, so you have things like on one, you have this pattern, for instance. They're really nice. It brings you all through all sorts of different patterns with your thumb. So those are the two that I would recommend. Now I'm going to go through another question from the Instagram questions box here. So if you have other questions here on YouTube, please leave them here. Even if it's not totally about technique or guitar or whatever. Okay. So how do you stay mindful of your progress and not fall into the habit of comparing yourself to others? Ooh. Yeah, you know what? It's better to compare your progress to the progress of others than comparing yourself to others. It's a good question because, I don't know, especially me as a late starter to classical guitar, there was constantly that. I mean, always in the back of my mind was, am I going to be able to catch up to these prodigies? You know, and the question is still unsure. I'm not really sure. But, yeah, compare yourself to the progress of others. You know, my previous teacher, Rene Izquierdo, or lifelong teacher, really, he teaches up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He said some pretty inspirational things once, just about how in his career, he kept on working hard, and it seemed that the competition or like the people he was comparing himself against just sort of dropped out. And of course, there's some people that continued, you know. But if you keep on working hard, and as long as you can maintain that, there's not too much of a concern about comparing yourself to others, because, you know, you can improve for however long you choose to. But more responsibilities come later, so you just have to keep going right now. But yeah, you know, there's people that I compared myself to when I was younger in my guitar journey that don't even play classical guitar anymore. And I thought I would never reach their level. So it's just a silly quest. There's really no reason to do it. But if you have a friend that is working really hard and you notice they're making huge progress and stuff like that, compare yourself to that, because all it's going to motivate you to do is work harder and achieve more goals and stuff. So, okay, another question now from the YouTube feed. And I really got to figure out how to put these on the screen. I know my buddies Hannah and Phil over here are going to help me with that, right? Do you practice arpeggio? Oh, no, okay. David asks, favorite technique books other than the one I just mentioned? Yeah, I love, there's a few I've really popped through the years. Hubert Keppel's Guitar Bible is is pretty good. I like that book. I'm blank. Isnaiola's book, Cathara Logos. That's a really nice technique book. Other than that, Boudonis. Yeah, I mentioned those. Book 1. I mentioned book 3 just now, the arpeggio ones. But those, yeah, the book 1, Boudonis, has all these vertical exercises. So I'll show you one of them if you don't know these already. But it has these ones where you keep one finger stationary and you move the other sets of fingers, and it changes to different pairs of fingers. And what this reminds me of is playing keyboard music or any transcriptions, because you're always in these situations where you have to have a weird note down. It's not utilizing open strings. the top, or in this case now the bottom. 1, 2, 4. I go through the whole set of these almost every day. I wish I could say every day. So then we get to more complicated things, like starting on your second finger. This is now anchoring, and you have 1, 3 moving up. 2, 3, 4. Now getting more difficult. A bigger stretch, or a more difficult stretch, more like. And then you have the hardest one, which is anchoring 3, because now you have this 2 and 4 that moves up and down. But you start with 1 and 2, which is fairly easy. I won't bore you guys too much with this. Or is this what you came for? Let me know. Seeing Evan struggle through technical exercise. This is the hardest one of the set. If it seems easy, it's not. So after those, it gets really complicated. You anchor 1, and you have this pattern that goes 4, 3, 2. So 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. And you do that with every finger combination. Okay, so that is just a miracle for your left hand if you do that every day. Seriously, it's awesome. Okay, lots of questions, both on Instagram and on here. I've got you guys here. I see some questions. I'm going to jump to one on Instagram. If you've got more for YouTube, go ahead and leave those. Let me go to another question here on Instagram. That's a couple. Okay. Veronica Krieger asks, practice strategies for different situations, competitions versus recital. Does your process vary? Oh yeah, definitely. You know, when I'm really in the heart of doing competitions, which this is funny, I have a competition video due tomorrow that I don't think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to drop. But I've been writing music lately. So actually, I'm going to include that in the answer here. Competitions versus recital versus writing music. Practice strategies. Yeah, huge differences. In competitions, it's mostly like I'm practicing one piece that's maybe the weak link that I'm adding to my competition repertoire. When I'm in the middle of doing competition after competition, there's a couple of pieces, usually maybe 2 or 3 pieces that are just so solid that I just play through them. And I maybe try to improve just one thing every day in the piece. And then almost all my time is dumped into practicing not just the other piece. Maybe there's a new piece I'm adding to my competition repertoire, but also just playing the whole set through and working on my mindset. But you know what? I'm not like playing through the pieces thinking, Evan, work on your mindset. That would be ridiculous, I think. But when I say working on my mindset, I sort of just mean playing through it all and feeling like I'm good at guitar. You know, it sounds sort of funny, but all the time you feel weak and bad and like comparing yourself to others and stuff. Well, but if you play through your set and you start feeling really good about it and you feel like it sounds good, then that confidence is so underrated. It can be really powerful where you get less nervous. So yeah, I spend sort of a silly amount of time just getting confident with my stuff and just feeling like, yeah, this is awesome. This is cool. This sounds good. Oh, people are going to like this. Oh, I'm expressing myself here. That kind of stuff is such important practice for competitions. Now, versus recitals, how's that different? Recitals, focusing a lot on like the programming of it and the energy and what I'm going to say. And usually just, you know, every concert that I've done lately, it's just I'm adding in more and more pieces. Like right now I'm really heavily working on my recital program. I'm trying to add in a few pieces that were written for me, which I haven't ever played in concerts before. And when this new season comes around, that's the stuff that I want to include. I want to have 2 or 3 pieces in there that were dedicated to me. That would be awesome, right? So I want to add that stuff in. So I'm just working on those pieces and trying to make them nice. And I focus way less on the confidence of concerts, you know, especially if it's a concert that's for like a guitar society, or somewhere where basically everyone shows up, really wants to hear you, and they really want to hear music. That is so relaxing to me because I know they're going to enjoy the music and not be judging me like at a competition. So building my confidence isn't important in that situation, but building my stamina, playing all the way through the program is really important. So usually when it gets close to the concerts, I'll play half programs, like just the first half or just the second half. And then when it gets really close, I'll play all the way through the programs at least once a day. And then one more thing about that is that practice of playing the entire program is so important, and it totally lowers your ego. You don't think you're so great because the stamina problems kick in, your nails are starting to get rough. But really in front of an audience, for me, it's so much more freeing because I'll pick up a piece of sandpaper and just talk to the audience, make a joke, or talk about a story in the city that I'm at, or about the next piece that I'm playing. That's so nice. Compared to a competition, you're like, okay, I don't want to upset the judges any more than possible. They know what it's like to just finish a piece that has raschiato in it and then play a slower piece, but I don't want to take forever to file my nails. Like, these are the things you're thinking of, and you don't just sit there and talk to the judges. Okay, so let me jump to a YouTube question here. Hey, I've been playing classical guitar for about 1 year now. I always practice with tablature but not notation. Can anyone help and tell me what is the best way to start learning notes? Yeah. Okay. I would start. Okay. So here, first, the question. The first question is: do you know how to read notation away from the guitar? Like, can you take it away? Like, do you know where C is at on the staff? If you don't, I would Google music notation app, something like that. And on your phone, you can start learning musical notation just through an app or something. There's books for this, but honestly, that's like outdated stuff. I think an app to help you learn music progressively, or on your computer or on your phone, just so you start recognizing the notes on the staff. And then applying it to the guitar is really easy because once you know the strings on the guitar, you can just start with very basic sight reading books. Matthew Hensley's book, Classical Guitar for Young People, starts out with just open strings, and you're obviously not a 6-year-old writing it on the string, or at least I don't think so. But those pieces are great for just starting to apply the concepts of playing, notes that you can read on the notation to the guitar. You're not going to be able to start with a Sor or Carcassi piece. So if you've been playing with tab, you obviously know the open strings of the guitar, and you probably know the 1st through 3rd position frets. I wanted to just show you a quick little thing where you start learning the notes on the fingerboard that really helped me. You can start by each day having a goal of learning all the notes of the fingerboard for one particular note. So let's give the example of C here. You probably know this C. Even if you've just been reading tabs, you probably know this is C. If not, now you know. What you can do is just find all the C's on the fingerboard and go through them all. I would say up to the 12th fret. Don't worry about these. But you go through all of the C's and you get really good at just playing all the C's. And for one day, that's really easy work. Eventually you want to get it faster so you can identify where the notes are on the fingerboard much faster. Wow, it's hard to talk and play all the C's. You guys try it. So then every day you add a new note, and I recommend that you go through like the circle of fifths. Then you do G. You know, you find all of the G's, and you're allowed to play open strings too. I have so many of my students doing this right now just to help them, even though they already read music. It takes them so long to find certain things. Like if I say play a G on the fifth string, they're over here or looking around or counting. You gotta know right where it is. Otherwise, when you're learning music, everything goes so slow. So every day, just learn a new note. And so say it's second day, you've learned all the G's and it's going well. First, go through all the C's. And then go through all the G's. Pressure's on, right? If I don't know one of my notes. That's so helpful, I think. You know, I didn't start doing this until I had a jazz class in my master's. I didn't know that method of teaching. And then after that, you add thirds on top of it. And then after that, you add fourths on top of it. And it's so good. And if you have an actual schedule and you're someone who's capable of following a schedule, then it's foolproof. Okay. Do you only play... Sorry, I've skipped a couple of questions here, but do you only play guitar? Do you know how to play any other instrument? Yes. I played piano when I was 6 years old through 12 or so. I played saxophone for 6 years. I have one here, actually. This is my new place. Welcome, by the way. I'm looking around for it. I think it's in my room. But yeah, I play saxophone. And I actually played tuba for 2 years. So how about that? I don't have a tuba, but how about, what do you guys think? A tuba mounted up on that wall right there that I can just pull down and really annoy the neighbors? Yeah. Oh, what's up, Kyle? New apartment tour and setup tour coming soon? Well, you know what? If it was MTV Cribs and it was like some awesome, spacious apartment, then I think I would do that. But yeah, that would be kind of funny. New apartment tour. I'm not certain I'll do that, but maybe a vlog or something. That would be neat, right? By the way, guys, how's the quality of this video? I'm sneaking my eyes over to the computer here, and I'm hoping that it's good. It says my stream connection is just good connection, so it might have downgraded the quality of the video. I'm not totally sure. Let me know. I'm going to bring this up on my phone while I answer this next question. David asks, advice for filming audition videos for college. Pardon me while I check this. Stream quality. Okay, it looks like we're still in 1080p. Great. Scott York says great. Hopefully that means great quality. Quality content, Hannah says. All right. Sweet. Okay, David, advice for filming audition videos for colleges. Yeah, I've got some advice for that. So, one, you know, try to go to in-person auditions if you can. But it looks like, I'm trying to think, David, if you're the David I'm thinking of, you probably already have auditioned, right? Maybe you're a different David. But if you're into the pandemic time with auditions here, I know that a lot of them are doing just video auditions. So what would I do? It's actually some tips that are not so, maybe they're not that helpful, but I'll give you an idea of something that I think about with videos and stuff. I hate setting up the stuff right before I play. I would not do that. And I've got a story about that. I filmed my master's audition preliminary videos at Florida State, and I was a night owl at the time. I was staying up to like 6 a.m. Every day. And I thought, well, how perfect would it be to film the video when no one's in the practice rooms, and I can pick the best practice room with the best sound. So I thought I'll film it like 2 or 3 in the morning. Well, I brought all my equipment. I brought lights. I brought 2 cameras. I brought two big microphones like this. They were like these blue ones. It was made by a company called M Audio. These M Audio Solaris. I brought all of these different things, and then when I brought it from my car to finally, when I was like ready to go set up and record, I tried to carry everything in one load, and my hands were just destroyed from that. And I spent probably the next 6 hours trying to get good takes. And I was just like, well, I'm not going to bring this stuff back here and re-record. That was such a pain. So, I mean, I was so drained. It was unbelievable. That was one of the worst recording experiences of my life. So don't do that. I would say the tip would be pre-set up your audio and video and test it, see what you like. And then don't even film that same day. Just leave it there. And whenever you feel the inspiration or you feel that your tone is really good and that you're sounding good, you sit down and you do it. That's my best advice there. Oh, also, don't cheap out on the mics for the audio and the video. Borrow someone's camera if you need to, or buy it from somewhere and then return it. It's a little bit of a sketchy recommendation. Oh, and with that sketchy recommendation, my light flickered. Don't skimp out there. There's a lot of nice things you can do. The audio quality is what matters. No professor cares about how you look. Just make sure the audio is great. That being said, when I was home, I got stuck at home because a family member got coronavirus, and I had to end up filming like 3 or 4 competition videos with a little iPhone plug-in microphone here. And I was able to make that work. This is a Shure MV88. And I had to make use of that and just my iPhone. So, you know, it's going to be fine. Actually, totally going back on that, everything that I just said, it doesn't matter at all. I think that if you're a great player and you literally just use the audio from your iPhone, you'll get the top scholarship. You'll get a great offer. They're not going to say, well, the audio wasn't clear enough for me to tell if he was a good player. Everyone knows if you're good or not and what level you're at. So, you know, as much as the audio quality helps things, the video quality helps things, it makes you look more professional, it doesn't matter that much. It really doesn't matter. Okay. That was a funny flip-flop, right? Veronica, oh, glad you're here. Wonderful to hear your process. I'm glad. What's my favorite Bach suite? Ooh, if that's any suite. Geez, I love the third cello suite. I'm gonna try to think about that for a little while. I don't really have a favorite. You know, you get worn out of things. The first cello suite is amazing, but it's so overplayed that it's impossible for you to approach it in a way that's fresh, you know? If I could just press a reset and forget that one, who knows how I'd feel about it. I keep thinking you're actually in the room. Yeah, I am, man. I'm there. If this couch was green, then you'd probably just assume I was there. Rodrigo, hey, good to hear from you. What guitar support are you using these days? I'm using this big old wooden footstool. No guitar support. Haven't been a fan lately, although I'll tell you my newest favorite is that Murata guitar support that grips onto your side. My buddy Tom Klippinger bought one recently, and I prefer that one. That and the guitar lift are really nice. Although recently I saw the guitar lift on my girlfriend's guitar leaving spots from the suction cups. And that's not good at all. It must be from like, people are saying different things depending on the finish and the moisture that builds around the suction cups. What is that footstool? Oh, this. I was looking for a wooden footstool on eBay back like, I don't know, 5 years ago or something. And these vintage ones were on eBay Some guy was selling them from like a stock that was left over from a music shop in Chicago. Let me show you this. The autofocus on this camera is really good, so hopefully that comes out. Oh no, it's actually being terrible right now because of the reflection in the light. Okay, you can see it there. But it was at this Chicago music store. They're called Mana. And actually, since I've gotten this, I've recognized this in so many videos. Actually, another place. When I was auditioning at USC for my master's, I didn't bring this with me. I brought a normal footstool, like a not crazy person. But I forgot the footstool in the warm-up room, and I felt like such a noob at guitar. I was just like, oh, geez. And they're like, oh, don't worry, that's why we have this one. And they pulled out this footstool. And I felt like I was already sounded stupid enough that I didn't even say, I have that footstool too, because they probably wouldn't believe me. But it was Scott Tennant's, I believe. Yeah, watch out for wooden footstools on eBay and stuff. A lot of them are terrible. I had another one before. I'm saying that I had another wooden one that was terrible. It had like a bar that went across, a metal bar. Not like this metal bar, but well, I guess it was kind of similar. The whole thing was a metal bar that went like this, and it locked in. It was like a orangey color. I think that's the one a lot of people have because they're popular. I forget the company who makes them though. Oh, some footstool envy going on in the comments here. Okay, I think there are some other questions here. Is Pujol or Carlavara better for the left hand? I don't know. I like those Pujol studies. This one, I haven't played this in forever. Let me see if I can remember this. Yeah, this is a whole study, but I just play this passage from it. I used to do this all the time. Wow, I should bring this back. Don't ask me which one it is, but you can go find it. Yeah, that's a really nice one. Hi Evan, what are your favorite guitars and luthiers? Is a guitar you dream to possess in the future? Oh, good question. Artemi, hey, good to hear from you. How are you? Yeah, okay. I've got a few favorite luthiers right now as far as like the guitars they make. This is Steve Walter. We've had a close friendship for the past, I don't know, 10 years or something. So I really love his guitars. I think they're some of the best out there, at least in the States, if not further. But some of my favorites that I've heard recently are Steve's, Glenn Cannon, Blackwell. He's a Canadian luthier. Who else has really impressed me? Oh, I mean, I think, oh my gosh, how am I forgetting the name? German guy. Antonius Müller. His guitars are incredible. What else have I been? I've been really impressed a lot lately with a few different guitars. But I think those are some of the best out there. Damen, of course. I mean, that's kind of a guitar I dream to possess. I really love the sound of Damens, and I just feel like it's the concert instrument. I know some people would say that's silly. Oh, Wagner's. I mean, some Wagner's. So nice. And who else? Oh, you know what? I really like this Italian maker, Miglarini. I really liked his guitars. There's a few more that I know I'm missing from that list. I'm thinking hard about it, though. You know, aesthetically, Steve Connor's guitars are so beautiful. Some of the more crazy stuff I'm not as much of a fan of. I like the more traditional designs, and some of those guitars I really like. Okay, well, I won't think too hard on this subject. Oh, you know, I've liked a few Dieter Müllers too. Totally different Müller than Antonius. But I really like the one Bokyung. has, and also a friend of mine, Riley Smith, had a Dieter Mueller that I really liked. Okay, that's enough luthiers. Okay, let's see. Oh, and is there a guitar I dream to possess in the future? Oh my gosh. A Torres, a real Torres would be so cool. Or a really old Hauser. I played 2 when I was at Guitar Salon International. I recorded on a Hauser 1. That was so beautiful. And I have to say that I've tried some Hausers before, and that were really old guitars. It was like a 1940, 1930. I've tried some Hauser 1s, 2s, 3s, all of them. And it's ashamed to say that I wasn't that impressed with them, and I felt like the hype was more behind their name. And then the ones that they had there were amazing. It was like the Torres type of sound to me, even though it was a very different design. I felt like it kept a lot of those same elements, and the whole guitar vibrates. You feel everything. Everything's broken in, feels the exact same. You don't feel resistance from the guitar when you play it. So owning a real amazing Hauser or a Torres one day would just be an absolute dream. I mean, more than wanting that awesome house on the lake or beach or something. Way more than that. What's your definition of a good guitar? One that you enjoy playing. And you know what? The sound preference is just what you've developed over the years, what you've developed a preference for. And you'll find it's different with different people. So it's got to be loud. It's got to be easy to play. And it's got to be consistent throughout the neck. And it's got to have a really high ceiling for putting in serious volume. I'm going to probably peak the microphone if I do. But I don't like it when you play guitar really loud and it buzzes, or you can tell it's capping you in the volume. Like mezzo forte sounds the same quality as fortissimo. These things. And a big spectrum of colors. Having huge changes, and it feels really easy. Oh no, battery. Let's see, is the audio clear? All right. Hey, we're going to figure out that issue. That can't be too hard to figure out if it's happening between a few cameras. Cool. Thanks for still hanging out. And by the way, if you have any other questions, let me know. I don't think I'll keep this running too much longer, although I am having fun. The audio is better. All right. Good news. Now the question is how crazy is if I get the mic even closer to me. By the way, I'm using this blue mic as it comes into frame. So I guess I'm not a real streamer unless I have it really close to me and I adjust the volume. I'm being careful not to speak too loud here. Yeah. Oh, look, it's swinging away and probably will knock over my camera. Having too much fun here. Okay. It's slowly swinging away, but we're all good. Okay. What's the sleeve for exactly? I always see people use it. It's just so that my arm doesn't stick to the side of the guitar and so that it's easy to change colors. If I don't have the sleeve on, my arm kind of gets stuck in spots. Especially if it's hot outside or, it gets a little sticky sometimes. So yeah, just, it mimics the feeling of wearing a long sleeve shirt, which you're normally wearing when you perform, or at least I'm normally wearing. So if it's just skin, it feels different than the feeling of having a sleeve. You want as much consistency as possible, Jorge asks, Evan, are you still studying in Alicante? I would like to study in Alicante too. No, I was there for 6 months for the Master Guitar Alicante program. I had an amazing time. I definitely recommend it. If you can financially afford it, it is a bit expensive. I got a scholarship to go, so it wasn't expensive for me, but it is a hefty price. That being said, you get amazing classes and amazing time with all the artists there. The mic, I'm going to head out. Yeah. Yeah, no, Alicante is amazing. You can also do the full masters there with Nacho. So I would Ignacio Rodes. That would be a cool thing too. Let me make sure before I get to the newest questions. Oh, there's a lot of questions up here. Scott York, have you ever played this Giardino piece? I'm going through a phase of his compositions. I've also had so many bad wooden footstools. Oh yeah. Man, you know what? I love his compositions, and I've never played any of that, so I'm going to have to check that out. I've had a few friends play his pieces. Actually, I had a friend go take a lesson with him, and then he prepared a few of his pieces, and then he found out that he doesn't teach. He doesn't like doing lessons on his own pieces, so they didn't have a lesson on that. So yeah, no, that's awesome. That's great. I'm gonna listen to those Giardino pieces because I'm looking for some new repertoire right now. Sorry, I'm always staring at the computer rather than you guys. Oh, and also I've got the wrong video setting here. Do you think it is better to play rep a little out of your skill level that you are passionate about, or music more in your skill level you do not like as much? Oh, that is a great question, Brandon. Because generally it's best to play music in your skill level. It's such a complicated subject. I'll explain my thoughts on that, okay? So, I started guitar playing things that were way out of my skill level. Way out of it. And I developed a lot of bad habits from that. However, I was quickly reeled in at Florida State to not playing that stuff. Like I was playing Asturias and Capricho Árabe right when I started. Right away, within a couple of months of playing. And I was quickly reeled in to playing things that were in my skill level, and occasionally my professor gave me something that was out of it. Like he gave me Rossiniana #1 in my senior year of college, which was way out of my level. But it's good because it challenges you, right? So the real answer to that is I think a balance is what's smart. However, I think the pitfall of most guitarists is playing things that are out of their skill level or out of their wheelhouse. And it's a big problem at most universities around the country where professors aren't putting their foot down and saying you shouldn't be playing this piece and being honest with their students, maybe because they're fearful that they'll withdraw or that they feel like they have some enlightened attitude towards this, that they think that the students should challenge themselves. But the reality is a lot of people are playing pieces terribly that are way above their level, and then it's terrible because they never improve. They only focus on the technical things. They never get to the musical thoughts. So, yeah, it depends on if you have someone there to reel you back in. It's great to pick a piece that's challenging. You make exercises out of the music, and you develop. But it's terrible to have too many things that are like that. In fact, right now I'm playing some music like with students, like these some SOAR studies that I'm just in love with. I love that music again. And I'm realizing how much there is to work on in the music, coming back to it. When in reality, when I was assigned to those things like SOAR and Carcassi and Aguado studies, this stuff, I was like, when can I play real music? I just want to play real music and real pieces. Those are the real pieces. They're amazing. So, yeah, that's my little rant about playing music that's out of your skill level. So, yeah, definitely have one piece that you're working on, but keep it slow. Don't feel like you need to, like, I'm going to guess since it's out of your level, it either has like huge stretches or it's really fast. And if it's a speed thing, keep it slow. Someday it'll get faster. You know, just keep it where it's comfortable. Make everything easy. Yeah, that's kind of my advice about that. I'm curious about this bit rate thing. It's saying the stream's current bit rate is 2,668 kilobytes per second. It's lower than the recommended. We recommend that you at least use 4,500 kilobits per second. Okay, one more question here, and then I'm going to show you some stuff on my desk here as I clean it up before you see it. No, I'm not hiding anything. I'm not hiding anything. Just some trash from things I just bought. This Elgato cam link. Okay. What do you do when you play and practice Piece of Death? There are so many pieces I practice a lot and have grown so bored of them and have lost the musicality. Oh, yeah, that's a thing. You know what? I like revisiting the reason why I picked up a piece. If you can remember, maybe it was someone's performance that you saw, or it's a video on YouTube, and listen to that and get hyped about it again. That hypes me up. And also, creating a roadmap of your musical ideas and what you're trying to express is really great. Playing it for another teacher. If you're currently studying with someone, go take a Zoom lesson with someone, or go take a master class. Have a master class. Those types of things really bring new inspiration to pieces that are pretty beat to death. Come up with a new fingering for something. Ask yourself what needs to improve. Those are some ways to do it. Okay, real quick before we get to these other questions, which are great ones or interesting observations. I'll show you guys just a little bit of what's going on in my room. Let me set my guitar down. I keep on accidentally knocking the cable off. Okay, so this is what's going on at my desk. Let me show you this. Okay, so can I zoom in a live stream? I'm about to find out. Let's flip that around. Oh yeah. Okay, I've got a few different cups. We've got teacup. We've got water. And we've got coffee. I've got this little light in the corner with a plant, some natural light. There is a whiskey bottle with a plant coming out the top. And there's you guys at the live stream. Over here, let me reel this back and adjust the camera. You guys are just gonna look at yourself. I'm just gonna leave you guys to it. Now let me show you what's on my desk over here. And flip out my screen so I can see. Here we have Mr. Dr. Beat. Okay, let me show you what's awesome about this thing. This thing is huge. It's an absolute unit, and believe it or not, Boss still sells it on their website. Don't ask me why, but they still sell these things. So this is what's awesome. You can use these sliders to add different subdivisions. So right now we have nothing, right? Then now we have just the simple quarter notes. You can see. I'm going to turn the tempo down for the demonstration. Okay. And let me turn the light on. Maybe that'll help. Yeah. Now, check this out. Triplets. No metronome is it that easy to change to different rhythms. You can even do things like this. Right? 16th notes with, well, right? I'm just going to leave this on for the next 8 hours. You guys enjoy. No, so it's so easy to go in and out of subdivisions. 8th notes. 16th notes in different volumes. You can have an accent in there if you want. I don't know. I love this. So I've been nerding out. I've wanted one of these for the longest time. You can also do hilarious things like... How about that? Okay, and that is my new composition for Human and Dr. B. Okay, enough of that. Let's see what people are saying here. Phil, almost the same setup. Yeah. Yeah, well, do you have this coffee mug, Phil? I think not. This is that Wisconsin Starbucks one. I'm not a big fan of Starbucks, but... Okay, guys, real quick. This right here is what I hate. Phil and Hannah now. What's going on with this focus? Come on. Oh, I have a smudge on the camera lens. That's real cool. I think I have... Oh, there we go. I had tracking set for some reason. This is a terrible capture card. And if I could just unplug... Tracking cancel. Okay, if I could just unplug the current capture card that's in there and plug this one in, you would see the difference. It's like it applies the worst Instagram filter to your face and turns sharpening all the way up. I updated the firmware, I checked all my OBS settings. This thing is terrible, and I'm going to make a YouTube review about it. Okay, what else? So over here, I've got a little blue USB mic. I don't really use this thing much. I use this, bringing this guy over. I use this blue microphone. Oh, sorry. I probably just got super loud on you guys here. I use this for everything. My online teaching, when I'm teaching, I do this. I'll show you without making it too loud. Sorry if I'm hitting the microphone. But yeah, I'll do this for online teaching. It's just out of view of the camera. And yeah, it's a solid setup because it's crystal clear audio for my students. And then I have this mic here for my camera that goes on top. I haven't been using much. I think I will sell it. It's a Shure lens hopper. It does some weird things with the audio. It's really focused on audio interviews, like voice interviews. This is pretty cool. Little gadget. It's a stabilizer. So, you know, I can clip this onto my tripod, throw my camera in here, like my phone camera, and turn it on. And so it's going to set up as horizontal. I can change the mode and do a vertical video. And, you know, for moving shots, it's really neat. For a B angle, you've got this. They're not too bad. They just came out with a new model. I wish I had that. It's you can magnetically attach your phone to it. Anyways, I digress. Let me see what's going on in the comments. Yeah, you feel the same way about the Rode one? I totally understand. That's how I'm feeling about that one too. This is so much fun. Okay, let's see. Scott York, I have a little experience with USA versus Europe college conservatories. In Europe, the first and second year is basically all Brauer or with a bit of standard rep. Can't believe they give these huge pieces in the States. No, I think that's generally like the better schools aren't going to give people more than those studies and the occasional like Villalobos Prelude 1 type of thing. I'm going to end this stream soon, guys. It's been over an hour that I've been streaming. However, this has been a lot of fun. And 34 of you guys hanging out here. I didn't really expect that. This is my first YouTube stream. It's hard to pull people from Instagram over to YouTube. And obviously, this was just a random Q&A. You knew it was going to be a clown fest, you know. But the next one will be an actual reason. While you're here, I'll just tell you. I'm going to be going back to doing the weekly live stream technique classes. And then I'll also do weekly other events, question answers, or just playing little concerts and pieces for you. Taking a look at new music that's been commissioned, or not commissioned, that's recently been dedicated to me. I'll go read through some of that stuff. We're going to have some fun. It's not going to be all hour, 2 hour long streams either. Evan, so Diego asked, Evan, I'm currently a junior high school. I'm playing on studying classical guitar in college. I was wondering, does it matter if you don't compete a lot or win competitions for college? So, yeah, it doesn't matter so much. It doesn't matter for your college. If you want it to matter with your career, then that'll become apparent if that's something you want to do, like compete. I definitely encourage you to try competing a couple of times. The most valuable part of it is the high pressure situation of practicing for the competition. And then the other huge part of it is getting feedback from the judges and meeting people while you're out there. That's been the most valuable part. Sorry, the audio is so far away now. That's been the most valuable part about competing for me. And you said if you don't compete a lot or when. I think you'll find out if it's your thing or not. I did quite a few. I did 3 or 4 competitions before I ever got a prize, and that was over the course of years in my undergraduate. And I know people that went through a dozen competitions before they got a prize, but they met a ton of people. And people care way more about who you are than what prizes you've won. They don't care at all what prizes you won if you're a jerk. And that stuff spreads like wildfire. So, you know, the most important part is meeting people and playing music. And if you can express your art and you're a good musician and people hear that type of thing, that goes a long ways too. So regardless if you win or get a prize, that doesn't matter so much. Yeah, sure. That would be great, Scott. Thank you. Evan and HD. Albert, hey, what's up, man? I'm going to be trying to use this for Skype lessons. So we're going to see how that goes. I've actually, I was just showing on my screen here. Right above my screen, you can see this tripod. Now I've got my old tripod set up behind my computer, and I'm going to be doing that for Skype lessons and just seeing how that goes. And next video, don't worry, it's going to be a close-up like this, and I'm just going to be talking to you zoomed in. Okay. The live stream plans sound great. Awesome. Appreciate the content you put out. Hey, cheers. I haven't been putting out too much content. I've been feeling bad about that lately, but this live streaming setup definitely helps. Everyone's saying nice. Yeah, that's gonna be the view. This was the Yongguo guitar. You guys want to hear how this sounds? I just made a video of it yesterday, but it's sold by the end of the day. Oh. There we go. Now we're in D. It's a really cool guitar, and I was planning on doing some outdoor gigs with this thing, but now it's gone. So I'm gonna have to get some sort of pickup and put it in a different guitar. Actually, likely the Altamira guitar I have. So, anyways, I think that's enough. I think we've done enough here. Dude, the daddies always sound right, okay? The Darius. Awesome. Well, guys, this has been so much fun, and I didn't get to nearly close to the amount of questions that you guys sent on Instagram and you posted here, but my voice is starting to hurt, and it's night. It's time to go get a fresh cup of water. Okay. So, wow, this has been fun. 34 of you still watching for whatever reason. I'm going to go ahead and end this now, and keep an eye out on the technique streams, which will also be a blast, not just work. And I'm hoping to start that this next week. So I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.